everybody. Welcome to Off the Grid Podcast with Aiden and Jared.
Yep, this is our second podcast. Last week on Saturday we talked about the Chief Hawk controversy, and that was really fun. And did you want to reiterate a point about that? Like, what we thought then?
Yeah, I mean, it was a really fun podcast. It was great to get started on it. The first podcast to start out with.
Yep.
Good topic. But I'm sticking to my story with, I don't know about you, but I'm still thinking that Chief Wahoo should stay.
Yeah, he should. There's no reason for him not to stay. Yep.
Yeah, so as I said in the last podcast, now I know I did say something about our podcast being posted on Anchor. Well, Anchor is kind of a little bit confusing for us right now. We had a little bit of an issue with the length for uploading, so we're not going to use Anchor anymore. So we're going to use YouTube and SoundCloud specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you could also see our videos on social media. We will be posting it on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, and we might, Jared, I don't know if you want to try this, but people say that Spotify is good for using podcasts.
Yeah, so we may look into that as well.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, it actually will, so.
I mean, anything that helps get our podcast out to the world there, I will certainly look into it.
Yep, and before we start, me and Jared both want to say thank you so much for our views and listens on our last podcast.
Yeah,
it means a lot to us.
Yeah, I'm glad that we're able to get people to listen to our podcast, and so anyone that listened to our podcast last week, thank you.
Thank you so much.
So, what do you think we should talk about today?
Well, we're going to be talking about World War II, and specifically, I don't think this is taught in schools as much as it should be, but the Pacific Theater.
Mm-hmm.
And disclaimer, Jared, you want to...
Yes, and there is a disclaimer for this podcast. Some content that is said today may be unsuitable for certain audiences due to graphic history.
Basically, it's, the stuff we're going to talk about is, it's graphic, but, it needs to be talked about because this stuff actually happened, and specifically we're going to be talking about something called the Battle of Peleliu. Mm-hmm. It was an island in the Japanese islands. It was an airfield, and our goal was to take over that airfield to prevent Japanese planes from bombing our troops.
Yeah, and it was a very, very... It just had a lot of graphic content to it, and it wasn't taught in... like elementary schools and even high school.
Yeah, well, elementary schools, Joe, it's obvious because it's kids. But but even with high school, though, it should be. They
tend to overlook certain things with the history in school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like same thing with what is it? The camps and everything.
Yeah, camps, yep.
They don't talk about all the things that happened with the Jews and them being, going into those rooms and then, they're like stripped naked and gassed. And it's like, they don't talk about that. And then you end up watching those things in high school. We did watch a video on that. I don't know if
we watched the whole movie. Remember?
Yeah, the whole movie.
The movie
Schindler's List,
yeah. List, yep. It was a great movie, by the way. Steven Spielberg made it black and white. It's absolutely amazing. Yes,
good movie. Very graphic, so I would recommend if you are under the age of 13, don't watch it.
Yep.
I would definitely get a parent's permission before.
But it does give some very good context, and if you approach it with the right mindset, it can definitely give some good context and let you really know what happened. So, there was a purpose for it. So, yeah.
So we're going to look into some of the history about World War II. Before getting into the Battle of Peleliu, what would you like to look at first with the history?
Basically, let's just look into the start of how World War II started. Just to, refresh some people that might not remember. Mm-hmm. Been a while since you were in high school.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay, so Jill, would you talk about that, or should I?
Oh, well, I don't know. Well, I know the biggest thing that, if you look at the American side, the thing that got us into the war, because we weren't interested in the war at
right,
first.
Yep, we were staying neutral.
After World War I, we're like, okay, we're staying out of this. We don't need to be involved in this. We're better than this. We don't need to join in and get involved. It was a mess. It got the whole country. People weren't liking the fact of being drafted into it, being pulled into the war. We were all gung-ho when
World War
this
II
came
came
up,
around.
when World War I happened, everyone's like, well, we need to support our country. And I think the United States at the time was like, well, I really don't think the normal citizens enjoyed that a whole lot, being drafted. And so they wanted to stay out of it.
But with World War II, it's different, because actually with World War II, you have people wanting to join.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is what?
Pearl Harbor.
1941, December 7th. 1941, yep.
Yep, and
100 or something Japanese planes went and bombed a base in Hawaii and killed over 2,300 people.
And that brought back a lot of that patriotism that, be like, well, we need to fight for what we believe in. Our freedom is at stake here. I mean, the Japanese just bombed mainland.
Yep.
This is home turf. This ain't like a territory. This is an actual state that just got bombed.
Kind of like on 2001 and 9/11 when the Twin Towers got attacked. Same thing. Mm-hmm. Which, coincidentally, well, not coincidentally, I think it was what inspired the terrorists, but some of the methods used by the Japanese kamikaze, that was actually what inspired the terrorists to fly planes into the buildings, actually. Mm-hmm. So that type of combat was used before 9/11, in case anyone was wondering. They would dive bomb their planes into ships, while the Japanese during Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, during Pearl Harbor, they really didn't care about their own life. They just believed in taking out the enemy and, fighting for basically their emperor, right?
Yep. Alright, so let's get into first off. We're getting kind of, ahead of ourselves here. So, World War II started in, actually, contrary to popular belief, World War II started in 1939, actually, when Germany attacked Poland.
Yeah.
They bombed Poland, and we don't know really what their, I guess, incentive was, what they were thinking, why they wanted to do it, but they bombed Poland, and then I don't remember a whole lot, but I believe it was France that got involved, and then that split a bunch of other countries into fighting with the Allies, and then Germany got, they got Japan, they got Italy, and all them, so... Yeah, Axis and Allies.
So, what was it, only like a couple of years until the U.S. actually got involved in it?
Yeah, because we wanted to stay neutral. We don't want another war, because World War I was supposed to be the war to end all wars. Yeah,
of course it wasn't, and, even if you look at today, we got, Afghanistan is one of the nation's longest running wars.
Longer than World War II?
Yeah.
It's been going on for... Well, Afghanistan's over now, thank God, but...
Yeah, but it went on for over 10 years, right?
Yeah, I think...
11,
12 to 13, actually. 12 to 13.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, anyways, do you know more about the Poland part of it?
No. All that needs to be said is that the Germans bombed Poland, and that's what's considered World War II. So.
And, yeah, because Adolf Hitler believed that, because when he got elected in the country of Germany, because he tricked everybody into getting that power. He should have never had that ability to get into that position.
Do you know why he did?
Why?
It was because he was a very good speaker. Even though he was a psychopath, he was a very good speaker.
He convinced the audience very well, his listeners very well.
The way he would do it now, I remember this from 6th grade class. It was funny, the way that our teacher would explain it, because he would go a fight up about it. It was hilarious. But, he would say he would start off, like normal, and he would get really involved in it, and he'd start really, that would be his method. He would start off calm, but then, get people hyped up and, just start shouting, I guess. And that's how we get people involved.
Yeah, because...
Kind of a weird way to, do a speech, in my opinion, but it's Germany, so...
Yeah, so after, Hitler got, I guess, elected, supposedly, because, didn't he start a new political party?
That's what the Nazi party was. It was a party. The Nazis were a party. They weren't just an army. They were an actual political party.
Yeah, and he started it, right?
Yep.
And, so...
And then he became the Chancellor of Germany. Became Chancellor. So, Chancellor, I guess, is basically the president.
Yeah, equivalent to the president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like in Star Wars. Chancellor Palpatine, if you guys know what that is.
Yeah, so Germany was like, well... Hitler, I guess, said something on the lines of, hey, we were, humiliated in World War I. Our country has no pride. No one respects us. And he tricked everyone into thinking that, yes, we need to win back our image,
We need to
as
win back our
Germany.
pride.
Bring back the pride of Germany, but he also wanted to show it to, everyone else that Germany was real tough and not a wimp. Because in World War I, they went out, like a, I don't know, a light, I guess.
Yeah, because when you find mustard gas, that's a coward thing to do, but...
So, Hitler believed, yes, we're going to take over the world, basically, right? Isn't that what his thought was?
And he did, actually. It was brutal, but he did. He did achieve...
He took over a lot of places.
He did achieve world domination, dude. He did. Many people might not think, but he did. He did achieve world domination.
Mm-hmm.
And the stuff that he did was bad, but we're... Yeah. But we're here to specifically talk about, the Pacific, though, because that's what we wanted to focus on. We just wanted to give you guys a little bit of history about why,
Yeah, so, it was Germany, of course, and Germany's been the bad guy every single World War, right?
Yeah, every single World War. Yeah, now
Germany's actually really good.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I from what I understand, Germany's one of the best places to live.
Yeah, there are allies, but they still have messed up people in their political ranks. But as a whole, Germany is a really great country. They're a really, really great country. They've come a long way. They've come a long way since then.
Mm-hmm.
Very long way.
And, just a lot of people, this may be a little off topic, not so much, but it's more outside the war. But currently, as of today, most people don't want to talk about what happened during World War II.
Because the Germans are very ashamed of
they're ashamed
of it.
Their history. They're ashamed of it. They don't want to admit that, the Holocaust ever happened. And a lot of people don't believe it ever happened to begin with.
Which I don't know why. It's clear as day to see.
How could you cover up something that big?
They have a whole museum dedicated to it.
Yeah, they got piles of hair
and masks too, and shoes, and actually that place though is actually a really sad place to go. I haven't been to it yet, but that's one of the places I want to go.
I'm sorry, but how do you explain all that hair and all those shoes? Do you think people just cut their hair off and put it in there?
No.
Yeah, so.
And honestly, that Holocaust Museum is I haven't been there yet, but that's one of my goals.
Oh, yeah, I would definitely want to go there someday. Definitely a bucket list.
It's a very sad place, though, so, I
may cry going there.
Understandably. And, dude, one more thing before we get started, specifically with the Pacific. I, for one, believe that now, I know that they're a memorial to the people that died there, but we have the Holocaust Museum, so I think the concentration camps should be torn down, like Auschwitz and stuff. Like the actual camps, because I know they'll still stand. Do you think they still get torn down? Because I think even though they're a memorial, it's still a bad place.
And we can almost make another whole entire... I know we said this last podcast, but we can almost make a whole nother podcast just on about, what should still be standing, to show history. Just like... This is a little off topic, but the Civil War.
Yep.
They have, in the South, they have statues of leaders like, the commander of the Southern Army.
Yeah, and then they have a school like WWII Lee School, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it's all debatable whether it should be standing up.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with, all those concentration camps. Should they still be there?
Well, what do you think, Joe?
I think that it's... I think it should still be standing, honestly. I understand that you're saying that it shouldn't, but I think it should because it reminds Germany that, yes, we did all this stuff. You should not be erasing history like that. This is something that Germany should be aware of that they did. It should be a remembrance that they should not do that again. Mm-hmm. Never again have another, Holocaust.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, but then again, what I think, though, is, because when you walk into that place, it looks like a prison. It looks like, it's not, we have the Holocaust Museum, if they want to see that, Mm-hmm. I don't think we need to have camps still up, when that stuff happened. I think that the Holocaust Museum is enough, and if they really want to do it that much, they can pay for a plane ticket and go to Washington, D.C. and see that. Well, not D.C., but wherever it is. And go and see it,
Yeah, I really think that it should be there just to remind Germany that, yes, this is what you did. There's proof that the Holocaust did happen to any of those stupid people who believe that it never existed, it never happened.
Yep.
That's just, it's dumb of you to even say it.
Yeah, well, this is my view, but then, you know what? I mean, actually, I don't know. I mean, maybe they should be left standing just because, it is a memory. It actually is a memory, other than the Holocaust Museum, that's too is a memory to the people that lost their lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely keep certain things should be kept up. Like, I believe that the South, same thing with that too, during the Civil War.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at that, I still think it should be up. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous that now they're thinking about removing those types of statues and things, because it's like, it's been there for, how long? I don't know.
Right,
but, I mean, I don't know when they put it up, but honestly, it's been that long since the Civil War, and yet you're just wanting to take that kind of stuff down.
Yep.
It's just, it's ridiculous. Just same thing with, like, the Chief Wahoo is like, now you're bringing it up?
Right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so,
alright, let's get into talking about
get the meat and potato.
Yep, let's get into the very, very nitty-gritty of this.
Alright.
The very specifics.
Let's jump right in, shall we?
Alright, the IJA. Okay, they were... Yeah, do you want to read some of the information about what it was?
Yeah, at the beginning of the Pacific War in 1941, the Imperial Japanese Army, or IJA, contained 51 divisions, most of which, 27 divisions, were stationed in China. Mm-hmm. A further 13 divisions defended the Manchurian Soviet border due to concerns about a possible attack by the Soviet Union. From 1942, troops were sent to Hong Kong, the Philippines, Thailand, Burma, Dutch East Indies, and Malaysia. By 1945, there were 5.5 million men in the Imperial Japanese Army.
Yep, most of those people were the same age as the U.S. Marines were, or any other sort of American army. 18 to 19 years old, wanting to show their pride for the country, and what people also gotta understand is that there was no real general that commanded the army. It was the Emperor. The Emperor...
Yeah, he presides over any action.
All. Yeah. Yep, to the civilians, the Emperor was a god. He was literally a god on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So the Emperor said, go fight, and they're like, okay, we'll go fight, because it's what our great god wants. So, our great and powerful leader.
And it's kind of ridiculous to think that, think of Japan. How, I don't know off the top of my head, but it's a small country.
A very small country, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like 5.5 million. That's a lot of people for one country.
Yep.
Especially of that size.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're thinking maybe, let's say there was 5.5 million in the U.S. Army, that's only a small portion.
Yeah.
Because, we're a ginormous country.
Yeah, 300 million, I think.
Yeah, so, do you know off the top of your head how many people were in the U.S. Army in total?
Like 40 million, I think.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a stupid estimate. I might be way off.
Yeah, leave it, comment about
that.
Yeah,
comment if I'm wrong. I'm probably dead wrong. I'm probably 100% wrong. But just whatever came to the top of my head is what I thought of. So.
Just a guesstimate.
Yeah, just guesstimate. Nice one, Jared. Nice one.
Yeah, so, it's a very small army. A very big army for a small country. That's what I meant.
Well, it is a small army too, when you think about it. Compared to us.
Yeah, and,
which kind of explains their ferocity in battle.
From 1943, Japanese troops suffered from a shortage of supplies, especially food, medicine, munitions, and armaments.
Not ornaments, munitions, ornaments,
Yeah.
Basically like guns and bullets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Shells and all that.
And it's largely due to submarine interdiction of supplies and losses to Japanese shipping, which was worsened by a long-standing rivalry with the Imperial Japanese Navy.
Yep, they were so... Even sometimes Japanese Navy and armies didn't like each other.
Yeah, I know,
they didn't hurt each other, but they got into conflict, though, still.
It just doesn't make sense. If you're trying to take over an area or just fight some other country, why wouldn't you want to work together? It's crucial. Like with a sports team, take the Browns or something. If you have one guy that's like, I'm going to just throw this receiver and I'm not going to throw it to any other receiver, then why it's not going to be successful? You can't be successful if you don't work together. You can't win. So it's just it's dumb that that the armies don't work together. They don't communicate.
Nope. And I think that was one of the reasons for the downfall.
Mm-hmm. They basically were fighting themselves too at the same time.
Yeah.
As fighting the U.S. The U.S. and Germany.
No, U.S., France, all of them.
France and stuff.
They'll find allies,
And to think that France as well, they helped us during the Revolution, so that's kind of a neat... I mean, obviously it has nothing to do with World War II, but in my head I'm thinking...
That is really neat that we've maintained a relationship that long.
Yeah, it's just like, because France helped us get our independence. If it wasn't for France, we probably wouldn't have a country today.
Nope.
We would have lost the Revolutionary War. There was no way that we would be able to support it economically because we just we didn't have enough money.
Well, before the French arrived, we had to do? We had to steal guns from the British.
Yeah,
That's how we...
Well, I mean, it was, for the most part, it was guerrilla warfare. Just fighting.
That was the first usage of guerrilla. Yep.
Mm-hmm. That was that was the birth of guerrilla warfare.
And actually, guess who taught us that?
Who?
The French. Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't have known that. And
no.
See, the British were like this. You stand up, you fight us directly.
Onward!
Yeah, I mean, they basically just wait, they stand and face each other, and then they'll just shoot.
That is the stupidest form of combat I've ever...
That's like, here, you take your shot at me. Haha, you missed. Alright, my turn. It's like, why would you do that?
Right, it's today it's much more realistic.
Isn't the goal to kill them, not to have fun while you're doing it?
Right, exactly.
I mean, so, yeah, the British were stupid. They probably could have, no offense to the British, but that was pretty stupid.
They did almost win with that, though, because they had a lot of supplies.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
They could have totally annihilated us.
Yeah, we're kind of getting off track here. But...
Yeah, I kind of ramble.
Yeah.
It's... Okay, let's backtrack here.
Yeah.
Back to...
Yeah, so, okay, you want to talk about some of their core beliefs, though, what they believe? I mean, we don't have to, read the whole thing. We can just, we just say what, they kind of...
Let's see. Well, they, off the top of my head, they believe that they need to listen to basically anything the Emperor said. Anything that he said, they do. Monkey see, monkey do.
Yep.
Yeah. And, so, they were told that they need to die fighting for their country.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like another thing that happened with Pearl Harbor, and that they sent fighter jets over there or whatever it was.
Yep.
And
yep.
I don't know the name of the plane specifically. Do you know?
Nah, but they were fighter jets, and I can tell you that.
Yeah. And they would never go back. I mean, it's like, can you imagine that being like in a family? Having like a wife and kids, and then you're getting sent into you're basically volunteering, right? Is it more of a volunteer, or is it like something like, hey, you need to join?
Both.
Both?
Both. A lot of it was you need to join, but a lot of people also did volunteer, so yeah. It was 50-50 with Japan. So
yeah, it's hard to believe that that it would be easy for the family to split part ways, because they know that their father isn't coming back, or their husband isn't coming back. They know they're never gonna see him again.
Mm-hmm. And here's the really bad part: is that the Japanese, what they would do is that if they resisted, they would kill him and his entire family. They would go to the family's house and they would just kill him to show, hey, you didn't listen to us, so here is what you get. They said to do it, you didn't do it, so here's what happens. Yeah,
and I'm guessing there was probably a lot of... I mean, even with the pressure from the Emperor, I'm assuming there was a lot of people that actually chickened out.
Yep, and all their families, they got killed. If not killed, tortured.
That was the consequence.
Yep.
For not listening to the Emperor.
Yep.
And the same thing, I mean, the U.S., there was a lot of... Probably even more so than Japan, because they were threatened, but... the U.S. soldiers were probably in the same boat when it came to, getting too afraid, I guess, to go into that battle or into the gunfire. So they would, start getting stressed out. I don't know what's the best term for it.
Yeah, but they wouldn't get their family shot, though, if they said no.
Yeah,
but they the U.S. actually understands the, psychological effects of going into a war,
Yeah, so either way, they're still chickening out. So some of them did.
Just one consequence is more serious than the other for doing it, so...
I mean, chickening out, even then, that's kind of like a disgrace, because you're going back to your family, and they'll ask you, what did you do during the war to help if you make it back home safe? And you're like, oh, well, my best friend got killed in the battle, and what did you do to help? Oh, I hid behind the sand. I hid,
And a lot of the people in the Navy, they would say, I cooked. I cooked food.
Yeah, I mean that's an actual job. I mean that's important because people got to eat. So
yeah. We're not trying to downgrade. I mean, every job is important. Every job is important.
Nurses as well.
Yes.
I mean, there was women that got sent into it as well. And,
can you imagine that for women being involved in that? Jeez.
I mean, so even though women weren't involved in the front lines, actually in the battles, they were still involved in the war. So even back home too,
the women. Because basically all the men in the U.S. are gone because they all fighting the war.
Old men.
The women were the ones. The women were the ones that were in the factories, making the bullets, making the tanks, making the planes, making the armor and helmets.
I mean, it's just crazy to think that. I mean, like nowadays, trying to think, what if it was like that with Afghanistan? Where everyone was, gun ho, and just imagine it'd be like another World War.
That posted we can do it.
Yeah, they needed to have another one of those for that. But yeah, so a lot of women had say in the war as well. Do you know that Amelia Earhart was involved in World War II?
Yeah, World War II or World War I?
I'm pretty sure it was World War II.
Okay, yeah.
She was a nurse, actually.
Yep.
Yeah, because I read a book on Amelia Earhart for school a long time ago, but yeah, she, before she started going on, trips around the world and all that.
And before her untimely demise.
Yeah, it's, I mean, this is obviously off topic, but I still am really interested in trying to figure out where she's at.
Yeah. A lot of people say the Bermuda Triangle, but...
Yeah, I mean, that's just, I don't know.
That is speculation, pure speculation. And
people believe there's been, counts of people actually finding her body, but it's never been enough DNA in order to do a good test on it, because there's got to be that marrow or whatever in the bone in order to get the DNA test. Yes. So anyway, what about so what do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about the what got us into the war more, or? Yeah, I mean, I think just to touch upon that real quick before we get into actually talking about Peleliu, is that, it was, just, if you've seen another movie reference here, but if you've seen Captain America, you know what I'm talking about, we had a lot of pride for our country, even more so than the Japanese. I mean, unlike the Japanese, where a lot of people were forced to, we wanted to. People in this country wanted to join. They would have lines, there would actually be something called U.S. recruitment centers built, because so many people wanted to join the war effort. Yeah, and that's something I forgot about, because with the drafting, that came during like the Vietnam War, because a lot of people did not want to go into that. Some people didn't. Yeah, the Vietnam was different. Yeah, Vietnam and the Korean Wars that was a little bit different. Vietnam, I think, was a war that we didn't need to get involved with, but I think, yeah, and same with the Korean War. Well, I mean, to stop communism, but I mean... that was there were other ways of doing that, I think. We kind of came more to a compromise with the Korean War, because it was split in half, North Korea and South. Yeah, and with the Vietnam War, no one won. Like, the U.S. didn't win. So I mean... And now, like, today's problem, we're creating a even worse enemy. We got North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, and, luckily, hopefully that'll be resolved soon, but... Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I'm hearing about Donald Trump having... He's actually agreeing to have a talk down with, or Kim Jong-un wants to have a talk with President Trump. Yep. I don't know if you heard that as well, but yeah, I did. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happened. I'm honestly very nervous, though. Same. I mean, because what if Kim Jong-un, they meet somewhere and then they assassinate President Trump? See, I think they're trying to. I think this is a trap, because their leader... They're trying to set him up. It's a setup, because this leader of North Korea never met, at least from what I report, never met with another leader like that. Well, here's the thing, okay? This is kind of funny. I'm sorry to you North Koreans out there, but your leader's fat. I think Donald Trump would get to him quicker than Kim Jong-un would get to him. I mean, Trump is a little heavy himself, but he's not as... He doesn't sit in his palace and eat like Kim Jong-un does. Yeah, and plus he doesn't, kill people for no reason. Yeah. That too. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, though, back to, Peleliu, though. Yeah, so, I mean... So what got us into the war was the bombs. And, which most people know, that's one of the topics that history teachers drive home is that that's what caused us to get into the war, and that's right. But there's a lot of different things that school doesn't teach, like the Battle of Peleliu.
Yeah, which was actually, for those of you who don't know a little bit of history about that, it was for now, you guys gotta understand, is that during the Pacific War, it was just the U.S. Marines. We didn't have the Army, we didn't have the Navy, not the Air Force, just the Marines, because while the Air Force, the Navy, and the Army was all fighting in Europe, fighting the Germans, the U.S. Marines were sent to Japan to fight the Japanese.
And it was the 1st Marine Division.
Yep, this is that specific division we're going to talk about here. But, first of all, though, the goal of Peleliu was basically there was a Japanese airfield that was, they sent their planes, their fighter planes to bomb specific targets, specific American targets that they were deemed to be detrimental to the Japanese war cause. So they would bomb those, and our goal was to take it over and stop that and send our own planes to bomb the Japanese. So that was our goal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically called, there's a reason why it's called the Pacific version of D-Day. Because that was the
one of the deadliest.
The most costly battle, actually, in the Pacific Theater.
Mm-hmm.
3,000 dead, actually, so...
I mean, that's just, oh my gosh, that's a ridiculous amount of people being killed.
3,000, 18, 19, and 17-year-olds dead.
I mean, to think that all these people had a life ahead of them back at home, just imagine, try to think, what if the war never happened?
Mm-hmm.
What would America be like today?
Well, it needed to, because, in my opinion, it would be ruled by Nazis. And that would not be good.
Well, it could have, but just imagine if Nazis never
existed and Adolf Hitler wasn't born. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah,
so if the Nazis were never there, the war would have never probably started, because nobody had that incentive that the Germans did.
Yeah.
And to think that, what if we could have had the cure to cancer? Like all these different little things.
We do, but yeah.
Simple things that, we don't know for a fact, but when I'm quiet, when the room's quiet, I'm by myself, this is what I think about. And, it kind of haunts me to think that, wow, there's all these good people that could have done good for the world. We could have world peace. Who knows?
Well, these people were doing good, dude. I mean, we needed to fight an enemy that was brutal, savage, that was going to destroy the world.
I agree
with that.
And
there were psychopaths. Yeah. We needed to stop them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean...
There was no excuse for not fighting. We needed to fight.
No, I mean, they did do good for the country, but what I'm saying is, what if they would have made it home safely?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I agree with, gung-ho going into the war, because it was a very important thing. We cannot let Germany, try to get payback for World War I.
Not only that, but they wanted more than that. They wanted to, like I said, world domination, and Japan...
Oh,
Japan just wanted to slaughter people. That's what they wanted to do.
And... they wanted, I imagine their ultimate goal was to get the U.S. I mean, because the U.S. is this ginormous country, and they're just like, this is what we need. And they're just like, they're like foaming at the mouth.
Yeah, give us the U.S.
Yeah,
now.
Yeah, they wanted the U.S. in the worst way. I imagine that's what they were thinking.
Yep. But what's really funny is that Germany and the Japanese would actually get into arguments about what side they want.
Mm-hmm.
And the Germans said, you get this little San Francisco side, and we get the West.
So, wasn't there a couple of, countries jumping sides during the war, too? I'm trying to think. Wasn't it Italy?
Yep, Italy was one of those.
Weren't they on... Were they on our side first? I think they were on the other side. The
other side first. Yeah.
Yeah, they were on Germany's side first, right? And then they jumped to our side?
They were on the Axis.
Yeah, the Axis.
And then they jumped on the Allies. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm glad for that, because, they realized jump ship, because they realized, the Germans are going to lose this.
And the Germans are psychos.
Yeah. See, the Germans, I think, were taking too much control over, just too much land. I think too much for them to handle. Because, I mean, just to think that they're the small country, and they're trying to expand out to other countries, and you can only expand so much because it's only one little country that's trying to expand.
Yep.
And it's too much land for them to conquer, I think.
Yep.
That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So the Marines were the first ones to start bombing, right?
Yep, and with Peleliu, they were the only ones there for the entirety of the battle.
So reiterate again, what was the goal to get Peleliu?
There was a Japanese airfield. We needed to take it over because the Japanese were bombing the U.S.
It's making it an easy spot, like island hopping, basically, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because back then, planes were not... couldn't go far distances like they could now. Like, now you can jump on an airplane and go to Australia one flight.
Yep. And also, I actually forgot to mention, before this, there was another battle called the Battle of Guadalcanal.
Mm-hmm.
Which was...
yeah, I looked up on that too.
Yeah, that was basically the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we went from Guadalcanal, which I think it's next to Peleliu as well. So, I mean, that was... we went from Guadalcanal, we took that over, then the next goal was Peleliu, and then the island after that, so... But Peleliu was the most costly out of the three, so... Yeah. There was... And we were going to talk about this specific soldier. His name was Eugene Sledge.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote a book called, With the Old Breed. Basically, it was a memoir that he wrote whilst he was in Peleliu. He, wrote notes in a Bible that he kept.
Yeah, he had a couple of he kept notes during the war on slips of paper he tucked into the pocket-sized Bible. So he kept them in there safe, I guess, snug and tight between the bindings.
Mm-hmm. And in fact, you weren't actually allowed to do that back then. The general
bring a Bible?
No, you're allowed to bring a Bible, but you weren't allowed to write notes of what you saw. Because, they didn't want people to get scarred, from what,
So, he was able to keep them safe in there. Because if he, tucked it in his coat pocket or something, just imagine, he probably would have dropped it. It probably would have got smudged, drenched or something. Because, during the war, especially on islands and stuff, they would get, they would end up stepping in mud, water. There would be all sorts of weird stuff they'd be stepping in. And it would soak their whole entire clothes.
And this is one of the things that I want to talk about as well. This relates to Frostbite Division in particular. Sledge says in one of his chapters is that they would one of the things that would happen is that as you guys know, probably islands are very hot. Mm-hmm. They're very hot. They're very humid. Moist. Mm-hmm. Often, think about this, guys. You are carrying 60 pounds worth of gear on an island, and
this island,
this island would very often soar to 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Mm-hmm. And he said in his book that there would be so much sweat. There'd be so much sweat dripping from their, bodies that their boots would literally be filled with, literally be filled with water. And all that water was obviously sweat. So when they would, sit down to take a break, they would take off their shoe, pull it, and then the sweat would just come pouring out.
Oh, yeah, I imagine they would have to stay really hydrated in order to not get dehydrated, because just imagine how much water their body's going, using during that time.
Mm-hmm. And that's what would probably cause blisters as well, probably, just because, it's dirty and... And speaking of drinking water, nicely into that, Joe, they wouldn't... You guys know about, how in Africa and Kenya, people, drink dirty water and, that's...
Yeah, it's constantly polluted.
Yeah. Well... In Peleliu, what they would do. Now, I can never imagine having to drink this stuff, but they would drink water, but it would be covered, it would be infested with rust. Rust from shrapnel, from vehicles that were,
And you thought the school water was bad.
Right, exactly, yeah. Yeah, they would drink actual rust. And that would probably cause all sorts of diseases. It would probably cause stomachs to be splintered from, cutting the, intestines and stuff.
I mean, they'd probably be getting sick.
Oh, one of the things that...
Prepare for the Hershey squirts.
Yeah, prepare. This is why we said disclaimer. One of the things that would happen is that they would literally puke up blood.
Oh.
And shrapnel would come out of their mouth, and it would just...
nasty.
Yeah, it would just... Yeah, it's not pretty.
Mm-mm.
It's not pretty.
Yeah, you definitely know something's wrong with your innards when you're puking up blood.
Mm-hmm. And as I said, shrapnel would cut, intestines and stuff, so it's not... But they had to, because they were dehydrated. There was nothing else that they were either, I'm gonna die dehydrated, or I have to drink this crappy, water that's covered in rust.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they gotta do something. I mean, that's just for people who are trapped out in the desert and stuff, they end up having to drink their own pee.
Yep.
So it's, it's like rust or pee. Rust or pee. It's yeah, and most likely you wouldn't have any pee to really drink, so, you know, since you're so dehydrated, your body doesn't need to pee, because it needs to use all that water that you're drinking.
Mm-hmm. And also, so we talked about that, we talked about what the daily lives are like, and now also we're going to talk about what a typical gunfight would be like during this battle. So basically, think about this, okay? Nowadays in 2018, I mean, I'm stuck in the past. In 2018, we have, something called night vision, as you guys know.
Yeah.
We're able to look into the distance in the dark and see enemies. We have laser tracers.
There's heat, be able to see where there's, heat at, so there's bodies.
Infrared, yeah.
Yeah, infrared, duh.
Infrared vision.
That's what I meant.
And, back in the 40s, they didn't have that. So think about this, guys. You are stuck in a jungle, an island jungle, and your home is basically a little foxhole. A foxhole is basically a dig in the dirt, a huge hole, and then that would be your home. Like, that would be where you slept, where you would piss, where you would, where you would do all your stuff there. And, so, yeah, what would happen is that, you're just looking in the dark. They would always have, while they were sleeping, they'd always have a person looking, posted, to, scan for enemies and,
keep for lookout.
Yeah. So, and then the Japanese would just start shooting. You don't know where it's coming from. It's, 2 a.m. in the, morning. You don't know where the heck bullets are coming from. They're all machine guns firing all over the place. It's pitch black, They don't have any flashlights to, see where the hell anything is. So, I mean, it'll be pretty freaking scary. Jared?
Yeah, I would just imagine you gotta be quick on your feet. It's 2 a.m., you're probably out like a light or struggling to get sleep in between, because just imagine you're worried, like, about what's happening, so you're not gonna be able to get any sleep. But with the little sleep you do get, you're waking up in between, little snoozes, and you're hearing gunfire, and you're like, holy crap, what do I do? Where is it at? You don't want to stand up, because depending where you're at, you may get shot. Yeah. So it's like, you got to make sure you know where you're at, where the gunfire is coming from. Yeah, so it's tough. I mean, I couldn't imagine, especially with, like, trench warfare, during
World War I, but the gas and that was bad too.
That was probably the nastiest part of World War I. Yeah, definitely.
Gas, yeah. Almost the gas to do to people. That's just bad. But yeah, also, guys, rifles were not the only thing that was used. There were these things called mortar shells. What those was, there would be basically a big cannon, and they would fire a huge shell into the air, like 30, 50, 100 feet in the air. And they were short range. They would go smash on the ground. And what they would do is they would release shrapnel, like, just like all over the place. Now, this isn't just tiny shrapnel like from a grenade. It's a shrapnel that is 3 inches. 3 inches thick. Now, 3 inches doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot. Like, a lot of the times, not a lot of time, but sometimes, to think about this, what would happen is that, they'd be firing, like, trying to, take out the Japanese, and they would fire a mortar, and what happened is it would go, and before you know it, shrapnel would slice off someone's head. So, head disconnected from the body, blood and viscera everywhere, just, because shrapnel is sharp.
It's like splinters, right? It's splinters,
yep.
So, I mean, you can get hit, like, with, multiple pieces, and it'll impale you probably, too.
As I said, the shrapnel, some of it sometimes is enough to actually decapitate people.
Depending on how big the size of the
shrapnel was, yeah. Yep.
Oof.
Yeah, that was bad stuff.
But yeah, so they, before they actually, it was before they set foot, they started bombing, right? Yeah, so they started bombing, from what I understand, they, sent the 1st Marine Division out to start, just keep pelting the island with bombs. I mean, it was just nonstop for how long was that?
I think it was from 15th September to 27th of November. So it was like a month, I think. October, 2. It was actually 2 months. 2 months of being stuck there. Imagine that. 2 months of that. 2 months of pure hell.
I mean, that battle went on for 2 months. And they were actually, the U.S. Army, just the, U.S. was thinking, yeah, this is going to be a really short battle. It's going to be about maybe 2 weeks or so, and we'll be out.
No, 2 months. No, 2 months of this hell.
Yeah, say 2 months. Because this, it's like, it was just too much. Like the Japanese actually got smarter. They were like,
because it is their island. It's it's a Japanese island. They know every crevice, every tree, every little crack in the dirt, every little rock to hide behind, and then they'll also build huts too to hide in. So
and their tactics have gotten better because they learn from their mistakes.
Yep.
And from what I understand, the U.S. did not change their tactic. They kept the same tactic plan that they had originally in place to take over the island, and they didn't change anything.
This is one of the reasons why Peleliu falls under a little bit of controversy, because, for one, a lot of Marines think that we shouldn't have gone in the first place, that wasn't necessary to win World War II, which I think it was, because every piece of land counts, every location counts when you're in a war like that. Every location counts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, because, with the island hopping thing, so they couldn't, because there was an air base there, right?
Yep.
So, since there was an air base, they would be able to easily, I'm not exactly sure, with the distance, how long the distance was from mainland, U.S. or Hawaii, but, since it was there, that could have been used as a spot to land from mainland Japan to that island and then hop over to another island. They just eliminated that one spot. So instead of a refueling station there, now they can't refuel there, so they got to either refuel in midair, which is a lot more difficult.
Which it actually didn't exist back then. Actually, refueling in air didn't even exist. So
so they couldn't.
Those planes are not that advanced yet. So that came around during the Cold War, actually, with the invention of jets, like actual jet engines, that had, like those kind of things,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, so the tactics stayed the same for the U.S., but Japan, they knew that they needed to change their...
They evolved
their plan in order to succeed against the U.S.
That's one of the reasons why the Battle of Peleliu was the most costly battle in the Pacific Theater.
And during that, on the island itself, they used some old mines as a way to hide in the mines, and they were able to use that as for protection against, enemy fire. And the entrance to the mine was slanted. So then they were able to, I guess, it helped with the enemy fire, I guess. I'm not like a, physics guy, but I'm guessing the slanted, entrance helped. So, just helped the Japanese. And there was so much tunnels there that,
the Japanese were experts at building tunnels, let me tell you.
I mean, they found ways to hide from the army.
Kind of like ISIS does today with their caves. They have cave networks.
Yeah, so after the U.S. Marines, bombed the island for an extended period of time, it ended up not doing much damage overall, the bombs.
Yeah, which is another reason why it's so controversial.
Because it wasted so much ammunition, and yet it did barely any it might have did more damage to the island itself than
the Japanese.
Yeah, it's like, well, there goes the island. You're probably just like, well, do you want it to be back in the water?
Like what the heck? You guys spent 2 months bombing the island and you didn't do a dang thing. What the heck?
I think the only thing they ended up taking out, significant, was a fighter jet or something they blew up.
It's insane. They thought that was a good idea. They wasted 3,000 lives for nothing.
And this is why they probably should have changed the tactics. Now, I'm not an army general or anything, but a commander, but I'm just saying.
When 3,000 lives die, maybe want to change your freaking tactics. I mean, seriously.
You gotta evolve with the Japanese, because if they're changing their tactics, you gotta change theirs in order to match it.
Evolve, change.
Yes. They needed to do that. But anyways, of course, the overall thing was we won.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, I mean, go America. America,
let's go. Yeah.
USA.
Yeah, one more thing though, and then this is something I want to touch upon. One of these, so first off, I'm gonna recommend a show to you guys. This show called The Pacific. It's a show on Amazon Instant Video. Mm-hmm. It's an HBO miniseries. It's amazing.
And it goes over the Battle of Peleliu.
Yep, and it inspired me to talk about this tonight with Jared and myself. And one of the scenes, now this actually happened. This is, as I told you, Eugene Sledge was a soldier that, as I said, wrote those, notes in his Bible, which turned into that book.
Mm-hmm.
In one of his encounters, he says that they were in a town, and they were, trying to clear out Japanese soldiers and stuff, and there was a woman with a baby. And they were like, oh wait, oh crap, well, what do we do? There are civilians here. And the woman was trying to give the Japanese the baby. No, the Japanese, the Marines, sorry, the Marines the baby. Not Japanese, no, the Marines, sorry. Mine's going a million miles an hour, but, yeah, they're trying to give the Marines the baby. And they're like, wait, should we take it? And the reason was, somehow a Japanese soldier convinced the civilian to strap a suicide bomb to her chest.
Oh my gosh.
And what ended up happening, as I guess you are about to find out, is that both her and the baby blew up. She killed herself. Went blood everywhere, guts everywhere. From the infant and from the child and the mother. And in one of the instances, I think one of the Marines' faces actually got, they got actually smacked in the face with intestines, I think.
Oh.
From one of that. And unsurprisingly, they puked afterwards. I mean, because after seeing something like that, being how young they were. But they ended up taking out the civilian and ended up taking out that town. Which I think, Jared, if you want to touch on this a little bit, I think it was very cowardly that Japanese had sent out civilians before they sent out their actual soldiers to do the fighting. Like, the Marines had to shoot down their own civilians. I mean, not their own, but had to shoot down Japanese civilians first.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I think, like, the U.S. would never do is, well, at least during this time period, they would never send women out in the front lines. Yet in that video, because Aiden showed me before the podcast, that...
During the show, yeah.
During the show, it was a, lady holding a baby, and it's like, you just sent this woman out there.
And it's bad enough a woman, but then a baby to die too? According to... I think that they specifically targeted that family because they wanted to see if they were dedicated to their god, their emperor, I guess. But it's so freaking messed up. So what the hell did the baby do? What did the baby do to deserve to be blown up?
Nothing. I mean,
babies are the most innocent creatures on Earth. God, they're just starting off with creation. God just made them.
Yeah, so this baby had no idea what was going on, had no choice in what was happening.
They had no say in the matter.
Yeah, so this baby just, the next thing you know, is just looking up at the sky. It's like, oh wow, crying because...
Well, like crying because it's a lot of noise.
There's so much noise. I don't know what's going on, and then you're dead. It's like, so, it's horrible.
All I know is that baby's in heaven. I don't know so much about the mother, because of, she probably supported what the Japanese were doing, but I know for a fact the baby's in heaven.
Yeah, because the baby's innocent.
I am praying that the woman is too. I'm praying that before she died, she gave us the question and said, God, please forgive me, Yeah, and it's horrible. I mean... It's very sad.
Aiden highly recommends it, that you check that out.
That show called The Pacific. The Pacific once again. It's amazing.
I'm certainly going to take a look at it. How many episodes are there?
10. It's basically a
miniseries?
Yeah, miniseries. Basically a 10-hour movie. So...
Wow.
And also, a show before that, made by the same guys, called Band of Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Band of Brothers. It's on the European side.
Definitely another graphic one, so I would, watch out for that one. So if you're, if you're 13 years or younger, don't watch it.
Band of Brothers is on the European side, and that was made 10 years before the Pacific. So they're both really good shows, though. They're really good acting. First off, applauding to the actors and for Spielberg and Tom Hanks with producing that show. They did an excellent job.
Yeah, Spielberg is a very good director.
He knows how to get crap done. He knows how to. I mean, he
has fun movies, but then he's got some serious ones, and
when he gets to serious ones, he's very accurate. But like Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah,
that was one of his that he directed.
Another graphic movie mind you.
Yeah, but still, the first 20 minutes is probably the most intense 20 minutes of an intro of a movie ever.
Didn't we watch that one, Saving Private Ryan?
We watched the first 20 minutes. It was the one with the D-Day beach landing.
Yeah, I don't think we watched the whole thing because it was that graphic.
No, but there was a pretty awesome scene with a freaking sniper. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
The sniper was taking out, not Japanese, but, Nazis from a tower. And it's pretty freaking sweet, but...
Yeah, definitely something I need to touch up more on those. I want to watch the full movie myself. And I'm definitely going to watch the series that Aiden's talking about on Amazon Instant Video.
Yep.
Do you know, is it cost anything to watch it?
Nope, it is on Prime if you have Prime.
Mm-hmm.
It's free to watch, so...
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So back to, let's talk more about the Battle of Peleliu, shall we?
Yeah. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah,
Because I've kind of been rambling on.
well, it's all related, so we're good. We're good. So, actually, I was wrong, actually. When I said they thought the battle should be fought and done in 2 weeks, I was wrong about that. They meant 4 days.
Yep, 4 days. I forgot about... I'm such an idiot. I should have,
Yeah, you should have corrected me.
I'm such a history buff, right?
Well, we're both we love history. I mean, I'm not a history, like a professor or anything, but
yeah, same.
I do really love history, and
we're kind of embarrassed. I'm so sorry, guys. We're embarrassed that we couldn't give you that information.
Obviously, I'm not perfect with my information, but
me neither.
Yeah, they thought it was going to be secured within 4 days.
4 days. Yeah, 4 days, and it took 2 months.
However, after repeated Imperial Army defeats in previous island campaigns, Japan had developed new island defense tactics, like we mentioned before.
Like with the mines and and with the tunnel systems.
Yeah, and well-crafted fortifications that allowed stiff resistance, extending the battle through more than 2 months. We were right on that much. And in the United States, this was a controversial battle, like we've been talking about.
Yep.
Because of the island's questionable strategic value and high casualty rate.
Like I was talking about, they said, did we need to land now? Did we need to take over that base? Did we need to? That is strategic, so...
Yeah, and that could be the same thing said about, like we were talking about with the Korean War and the Vietnam War. There was a lot of money put into those wars as well, and because we weren't making any headway with it.
Nope.
And... those battles, we're pouring all this money into this war, but why aren't we getting anything out of it?
Right. And not getting a thing out of it.
And, just like it came to a standstill with North Korea and South Korea. If you know for something, Korean War, fun fact, Korean War is still going on.
Yep. And there's this place called the DMZ. DMZ is now the most heavily fortified place on Earth. It's the most intense place on Earth. It's basically the border between North and South Korea.
Mm-hmm. And
it's a huge wall, and we actually have about 100 U.S. troops there in case there's some outbreak. In case either side decides to fire,
which hasn't happened, right?
No, and North Korea, what they want to do first is they don't want to bomb the U.S. They want to bomb Seoul. Seoul is South Korea's capital, and I was kind of scared because if this past couple weeks the Olympics happened, and
I was scared about that as well,
and it showed that the North Koreans and South Koreans were, unified, but I honestly think, now it hasn't happened yet, thank God, but I think that they might have, I might sound paranoid, but some of the athletes for the North Koreans might have been spies, sent to look at the layout of South Korea, its country, see how the roads are, give a layout of the city, and then they might nuke it. 25 million people live in Seoul. 25 million. Launch a nuke. Dead. All 25 million people dead. Gone.
Yeah, so that's why another thing, President Trump is wanting to go and have talks with Kim Jong-un about, stalling that missile testing and no nuclear, programs. We're not doing that anymore. President Trump wants to get rid of that. And they had an agreement. I guess Trump, I keep tabs on his Twitter and everything, so he voices his opinion on Twitter.
Oh, very much so.
And he mentioned something about how he wanted that the leader of North Korea, he said that they're not going to do any missile tests during the talk. So during that time, they're not going to do it. But Trump believes that he's going to stick to his word. Now, I don't think that's the case, just because...
he comes out of his line through his teeth. He's done it before.
Yeah, so why... That's
Why trust him? Why trust him?
There's no reason to trust this guy. He hasn't talked to any other leaders.
Actually, he says himself he hasn't talked to any other leader before. This is his first time.
Yeah, so it's very suspicious as to why he wants to talk to Trump, because I'm thinking that maybe he wants to spark something. So he wants to kill somebody, and who is that person? That'd be Trump.
And that's gonna... He's psycho enough to cause World War III.
This is going to be a thing to watch in the next couple of weeks. I'm scared, honestly.
I'm scared for my family, because, as you know, in the expected World War II, this is on my atomic one tonight. World War II ended with 2 atomic bombs. And since the 40s, bombs have been upgraded more and more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you guys know about the Tsar bomb. Jared, if you want to talk about that a little bit, what the Tsar bomb is.
No, go ahead.
It's the largest, it is the most powerful explosive ever detonated. It was 50 megatons. 50.
Wow.
The one dropped on Hiroshima was a mere 10.
And yet...
And you see how much damage that did.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Hiroshima and you see, like, the imprint of someone's body that gets like, smacked onto a building.
Those are ashes, yep.
Yeah, the ashes get ingrained on the building.
You literally see the person's shadow, like of their body. Yep.
It's eerie. Like, you look at it, the pictures, and you're like, geez.
Yeah, it is really nice, though, because the U.S. did help Hiroshima rebuild. They did help the Japanese rebuild, so that was nice of us.
I mean, it's kind of confusing at the same time, because it's like, hey, I just blew you up, but I'm going to help you.
No, because, as you said, a lot of people didn't want to join, but they had to. You know? So, I mean, there was a lot of, like that person, that woman and that baby. There was probably a lot more people like that in those towns. And it just got nuked.
And I think that it helped with relations with Japan, because if we did not go back and fix what we did to Japan, you know, that's like punching someone in the face and be like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to break your face.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, here, I'll pay for your room, you know, at the hospital. I'll do whatever. Yeah. I'll pay for your damage. You know, then making it all better. You repaired it. Yep. And I think if we didn't do that, then Japan might still be an enemy of us today.
I think that's one of the reasons why Germany hated us so much in World War II. Is because we didn't help them in World War I. Mm-hmm.
We didn't. We humiliated them.
Yep.
Yeah. Weren't they still paying off the war debt from World War I?
Yeah, that is one of the other reasons why. Because just like the U.S., before World War II happened, World War II actually brought us out of the Great Depression. Mm-hmm. We were high in economic crisis, and World War II brought us out of it. So, yeah, just a little side fun fact for you guys. But yeah,
definitely, it was a good thing that we repaired or fixed up Japan after and gave them a Band-Aid.
I have to give the Japanese credit. If it wasn't for the Japanese, we wouldn't have Godzilla. So thank you.
Yeah,
thank you, Japan.
What about Nintendo?
Yep, thank you, Japan, for that also. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you
just
guys have done
today. We may not even have Nintendo products in the U.S. if we were that much against Japan.
Yep. In Japanese, Nintendo means heaven. Mm-hmm. Fun fact. So.
Yep. I think we actually mentioned that in the last podcast.
We did.
I think so.
No, we didn't.
We touched on it.
Yeah, but we didn't say Nintendo means heaven though. We didn't say that, dude.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I thought we did, but.
False memory. Who are you?
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, put us in the comments. Yeah, if
let
we
me
did.
know.
Yep.
Catch me. And
outside. How about that?
Yeah, catch me outside.
Oh man.
So yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it was definitely a high casualty rate there during the war. And
the Marines actually called the Battle of Peleliu the actual they call the bitterest battle in the whole Pacific War, according to the Marines, and that says a lot.
And by 1944, American victories in the Southwest and Central Pacific had brought the war closer to Japan, with American bombers able to strike at the Japanese main islands from air bases secured during the Mariana Islands campaign. So basically, yeah, this was a great way. If they were able to take over the island of Peleliu, then it would help the U.S. be able to bomb Japan a lot easier.
The main islands. Yep. And that, actually, when they got to main islands, that was a huge victory. A huge victory.
Because we actually had soldiers step foot on the land, right?
Yep. Well, they did in Peleliu, too, but, I mean, most of them got shot. I mean...
Peleliu was horrible. I mean...
Yeah, just one more thing about that really quick. There's a reason why it's called the Pacific D-Day. Mm-hmm. This isn't in Wikipedia, but I'm gonna say it anyway because it's another personal thing that Sledge wrote about. You had amphibious. You had something called Amtraks. Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen those big things with ATV-looking tires that are like all green and camo, and they look like trucks, but they're
I think so.
They're like a lawn. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like a Have you ever seen those airport fire trucks?
Yes,
They look like that, but they're all camo and, you have turrets instead of hoses and stuff. But yeah, with huge, amphibious wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so during that, the soldiers would get in that. It was a troop transport. And they arrived in that, and they went on the island, except for on the beach, and they were mowed down by machine gun fire. And Sledge said a lot of his friends that he had grown to care for and love. Now, keep in mind, guys, these aren't just numbers. These are actual people with lives. Each person that gets shot had a family, had goals for their life, had something, and had an entire life ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those people got shot and killed. And that, I can't even begin to imagine the PTSD that they would feel when they come back. Do you want to talk a little bit about that before we move on? And do you want to save that for the end?
Oh, you can go ahead.
Alright, help me on this, a little bit, because I don't really, I don't really study the PTSD effects, so... But what I know is that basically they would have, people that came back, they would have nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
They would have something called survivor's guilt.
Yeah. That's where, if they say, why am I living, right?
Yeah.
Why am I
here?
Why did my friend get killed, but I didn't?
Oh, yeah.
Why did this person get killed? I didn't, know?
It should be me.
It should have been me. I should have never came home,
Yeah.
And that was a lot of... It was very prominent during this time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it happened during other wars, too, like the Korean and Vietnam.
Even Afghanistan happens.
Afghanistan, yep.
Yep, and a little bit of a personal story for me, actually, because talking about my two grandpas here. My grandpa, in case you guys don't know, well, you guys didn't know because I haven't told you, my grandpa was a gunner for one of the planes that went during the Battle of Normandy during D-Day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I showed you a clip from Band of Brothers when they were parachuting out of the planes, and it was, did I ever show you that?
No, I don't think so.
Alright, it's basically, this would really happen too. They were, the 82nd Airborne. They would, have parachutes. Now, keep in mind, the parachutes back in World War II weren't like parachutes today. They were very thin, circular parachutes, And what they would do is that they would, call out numbers like, 7, okay, they would just equipment checks. And then they would dive out of the plane, and a lot of the time in this particular instance, not the plane that my grandpa was on, thank God, his plane was fine, but in the show, what happened is that, the plane turbine got fired upon. Ooh. And he strapped a bullet that the German turret fired, hit the turbine, and that caused a chain reaction, and it flew into the cargo hold, which is where they were going to jump out of, and it burned all the soldiers alive.
Oh my gosh.
And burned them alive. Yeah. And the plane went down, so, yeah, imagine that.
Yeah, they had, no chance to even get into the battle.
Yeah. And what's even worse is that the pilot that was flying the plane, the co-pilot got shot right in the head next to him, and he saw that.
Oh my
God.
A
bullet fired through the windshield, dead. And then that's how the plane went down.
Because the guy could not pilot.
By himself.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, that was during the Battle of D-Day. That was during Normandy. So,
right.
In case if you guys don't know that. Yeah, so World War II was hell. It's not like Call of Duty. You can't respawn once you die.
Yeah, I mean, most people, as it being taught in elementary school and as well as high school, a lot of the children aren't exposed to what it was actually like.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just grazing the top of, of what it actually was.
They're not even scratching the surface of what hell that they had to go through.
Yeah, it's just the surface of what that's what they're being taught. Mm-hmm. They're not being taught what the psychological effects so much and what types of things played into casualties, because there was, diseases too.
Yep, with Peleliu, again, and very particular. There would be malaria. Mm. There would be, what's some other diseases that you find on islands, dude?
I don't know if the West Nile.
Yeah, West Nile. Yep.
Yeah,
those kind of things. Yep, soldiers would get sick.
Yeah,
of that.
I'm sure there's plenty of mosquitoes on the island, and that was how a lot of them got
died.
Sick.
Yep, a lot of the soldiers didn't die from gunfire. Well, a lot of them did, but
yeah, probably more than.
Yeah,
but
a lot of soldiers also died from disease. And as I say, getting blisters, because back then, during the 40s, our medicine wasn't as good. So, and plus they were running low on supplies. The Japanese weren't the only ones running low on supplies. The Americans were too.
Mm-hmm.
So, the reason that they drank, as I said before, they would drink water covered in rust, the reason they would is because they didn't have the drivers, the stupid drivers that were supposed to drive the crates up to them, they had pure water in them. Pure filtered water.
And you know what else is pure water is what after they drink it.
Yeah. But like seriously though, yeah. So that went wrong, but they had to do that. Yeah, so yeah, it was just the conditions that they had to go through. Disease, so much sweat that boots are covered in it. Shrapnel flying and cutting someone's head off. And I haven't even mentioned yet what the Japanese would do when they would be face to face with hand-to-hand combat. I haven't talked about that yet. They would charge with a lot of Japanese guns. They would have something called a bayonet. Mm-hmm. If you guys know what that is.
Oh yeah.
That's what the British used. They had that.
Yep, during the Revolution.
They would run up to a
Bayonets are cool.
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah.
I mean, I love it having it on there because you could just go
yeah.
Because if you're really close, it's great for that combat because you realize, man, I don't have that time, especially during the Revolution. I don't have that time to get the rod or whatever and pound the ammo in because it took a long time to reload a gun.
Oh yeah.
Just imagine if this is like a topic for another podcast, but like school shootings and stuff, just imagine if it was 1700, so you'd be like, wait, hold on, I gotta get more ammo, and then you just the cops would show up, yeah, you take them out.
Good.
Let's just, instead, let's get rid of all those new guns, let's just go back to revolutionary guns, so let's make
I don't agree, but that's stupid. That, gun control is another topic. Let's stay out of that. We're probably going to offend a lot of people by talking about that, but we don't give a crap.
We're definitely going into gun control in a later podcast.
In a couple weeks, maybe.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, please. Yeah. Anyway, back to the topic at hand, though.
Bayonets are cool.
Yeah, bayonets are awesome. But the Japanese would use something called a katana. If you know what that is. It's a two-handed sword.
Oh, yeah, that's sweet.
My brother has one. My 9-year-old brother. Because he's in karate, so he's actually responsible enough to have a katana. It's in a case, he never takes it out.
Isn't that exactly what Michonne used in The Walking Dead?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Badass. So here's another story that Let's talk about. Now, again, this is why there's a disclaimer. Okay? So before he went to Peleliu, he hated seeing anyone get shot. He hated, seeing people get hurt, hated seeing... Wait, I don't know if it was Sledgehammer, there was someone in the first movie, it was someone. They hated seeing people get shot, they hated, seeing people die, whether it was Japanese or American. But there was a certain encounter that he had. Not with a living person, but with a dead person, a corpse. So what happened is that they were walking through another town, or, an area, after a horrific battle, probably. As I said, Peleliu was horrific. And he stumbled across a corpse. But this is not a normal corpse. The corpse had its head, arms, and legs cut off strategically. Mind you, very strategically, like with a surgeon's precision. Each bone snapped, each nerve severed, each nerve severed, each little, and if you don't know, nerves are very, they're not actually solid, they're very liquid strands. So each nerve is severed, and they were stacked on top of each other like a sick decorative piece. They put the torso on the bottom, the arms and legs are next, and then they put the head on the top, basically. So, Jared, if you can help me explain, it's kind of like stacking...
It's like a mannequin, like taking a mannequin apart, but just imagine real body parts.
Or a sick version of putting Lincoln logs on top of each other.
Oh, yeah, it's like building Legos or something.
Yeah, but with human remains. It's absolutely sick. I don't know what they did with the intestines, but those are missing. The liver was missing. The tongue was cut out.
Now, was there, would they eat?
No. They just did it for, entertainment. To entertain the Japanese soldiers. That's how sick they were.
Yeah, I mean,
the Americans don't do that. They're not that sick. I mean, sure, they burn people with flamethrowers, but that's to clear out areas. They don't cut off people's nubs and sever their bones and nubs and stack them on top of each other.
I don't understand why they put all that time and energy into doing that.
Just because they want to scare the Americans and because they're sick.
It's like, a scare tactic.
Not only scare tactic, but as I said, the psychos, the sick people. Well, they were. The Japanese are fine now, but back then they were sick people. Very sick. Messed up in the head. And
back to the, with different fortifications that Japan used during the Battle of Peleliu, they had I got an exact number for you. The exact number for the amount of caves was 500 limestone caves. Mm-hmm. Just imagine how much areas they can hide. And it was interconnected by tunnels. Many of these were former mine shafts, as I said before, that were turned into defense positions. Engineers added sliding armored steel doors with multiple openings to serve both artillery and machine guns. Cave entrances were built slanted as a defense against grenade and flamethrower attacks, like I was trying to explain, but, I didn't quite know. Mm-hmm. The caves and bunkers were connected to a vast system throughout central Peleliu, which allowed the Japanese to evacuate or reoccupy positions as needed, and to take advantage of shrinking interior lines.
Yep.
So, as, America moved in to Peleliu, they were able to move throughout and then to escape the Americans.
With those vast cave networks, yep.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely
that was a really good tactic. That was really good tactic.
It was very good. It was almost like guerrilla warfare. They were hidden,
Yep.
and one of the defenses were based at Peleliu's highest point on the island.
Yeah.
So it's like, during the revolution, that was one of the key strategies, was getting up on a hill, and the enemy is running up the hill, you're shooting down at them.
Yep.
That's so stupid for the people down there. It's like,
we can't get off.
Might as well say, bye-bye, you're going to be dead,
Bye-bye.
There's no way for you to survive that one. And, so it was on, which the highest point is called Ummerbragal Mountain.
Yep.
That's a one doozy of a name there.
Yeah, one doozy of a name.
Watch your first step, Doc. There, it's a doozy. From Looney Tunes. There, if you didn't get the reference.
That's all, folks.
A collection of hills. There was a collection of hills and steep ridges located at the center of Peleliu, overlooking a large portion of the island. So it was a crucial, including the crucial airfield. So that was where it was located.
Yep.
And and the Japanese were well armed in the battle. In this whole entire battle, they were well armed, except for the fact, probably towards the end of it, when they started to not get supplies
and get bombed.
Yeah, because I'm sure that the Japanese couldn't get supplies in when the Navy. I mean, the Marines are, right there, and they're throwing. They're launching bombs like left and right. I mean, they're pretty cool.
Marines are badass.
And the Japanese were well armed with 81mm and 150mm mortars.
Yep, like I said, yep.
Yep, which backs up Aiden's claim.
Yep.
And 20mm anti-aircraft cannons, backed by a light tank unit and an anti-aircraft detachment.
Those are used to shoot down U.S. Marine planes. Well, not Marine planes, actually. They'll be the Air Force. The Marines are strictly on the ground, actually, Jared.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, so I think No, never mind. It's fine. Yeah.
And the Japanese also used the beach terrain to their advantage. The northern end of the landing beaches faced a 30-foot coral promontory that overlooked the beaches from a small peninsula, a spot later known as the Marines who assaulted it simply as the point.
Yep.
Holes were blasted into the ridge to accommodate a 47mm gun and 6 20mm cannons.
47mm gun is basically like a machine gun to it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, is what that was.
The positions were sealed shut, leaving just a small firing slit to assault the beaches. Similar positions were crafted along the 2-mile stretch of landing beaches. So this is basically like D-Day, if you think, with trying to get on the beach, and that was the worst, you're gonna get hit. You're
gonna get hit, you're gonna die.
Because I imagine they still had those, those landing crafts.
Yep, those boats, yep.
Yeah, those boats that had the troops on it, and then once So basically, I don't know exactly if they started firing at him before they landed or right as they got out, but
Right as they got out.
Yeah, so it was like, if you're the first person standing in line, you're going to be dead. You know, so...
Right in the head, dead.
Oh, I could not do that. I mean...
I cannot imagine. At 18, 19, 17, like I said, can you imagine?
I mean, can you imagine how fast your heart could be beating?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You're like, oh my
Jesus.
gosh, your stress levels are at 100%. And your adrenaline is going through the roof. There's no way that you're going... You know for a fact that it's a high chance you're going to be dead.
Oh my goodness gracious.
It's so... It's stressful. I mean, I couldn't imagine that.
Yeah, so I think that's good, I think. I mean, I don't think we need to go over every piece of information. I think we've kind of, given what,
I mean, yeah, we can go into so many details. Like, there were so many different battleships that were involved with it. There was even one that was, one from... I don't know if it's exactly from Cleveland, but it does say Cleveland.
Yep.
So I guess there may be named ships after cities.
Yep.
So
so we just don't have enough time. There's so much in this one battle that
we can almost do a part 2 of our of a World War II podcast. I mean, we can go into different wars. If we do want to, we can totally come back to it.
Yeah.
But
yep.
I'm definitely interested in history, so stay tuned for more podcasts like that, because we're going to go into other, we might go into other wars. Or,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think we might want to talk about next time? Like when it comes to history.
The Vietnam-Korean War. That's cool.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Because I've been mentioning it a lot, so you can tell that I'm interested in it.
And maybe the war to come. One that hasn't happened yet, like World War III. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
we'll
definitely.
talk about maybe feels of...
We'll talk about it as it's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, and sorry if, I've been kind of, language and stuff. It's just I'm really, passionate about this kind of stuff because I kind of researched it a lot, so sorry in advance about that. It's just, I really think about that, kind of stuff. And, just knowing what they went through is it's very heartbreaking. You got 17, 18, 19-year-olds, and they have their whole life ahead of them. They probably had girlfriends, they're probably going to get married and have kids, and,
Yeah, like I've seen documentaries with people that have gone into the war, they got shot, and there was, like a person, I don't have any specifics, but there was like a person, that was shot, and then they would open up like, their chest, like their pocket, on their shirt, and there would be a picture of like their girlfriend or wife, and it would be like, have their kids on there too, possibly in the pictures. It's like, just, like they don't know that he's dead yet because it just happened. Mm-hmm. It's sad. I mean,
very sad.
It really is. And for anyone who has been, had experience with the Battle of Peleliu, and I'm sure there's a couple of, veterans out there that have been through it.
They're still alive. I just want to say thank you, first of all, and I'm sorry that you had to go through this.
I want to thank all the veterans out there, current and ones that are retired, for protecting our country, serving our country,
and just going through this.
I mean, I can't be more thankful than what I am right now. I mean, we would not have America without all the brave men and women who fought for our country.
Yep, and even with the people right now that are fighting ISIS and all them.
Thank you for protecting our country.
Yeah, it's just, we cannot give enough thanks. I mean, all the stuff that we talked about tonight is that's just a fraction of probably how brutal it actually was. We probably not even mentioned stuff that's even more so thank you guys.
Yes, thank you again for protecting our country.
It's so, we think that, we us as our age, we're, we're 19, so we're kind of immature. We don't, when we think about war, a lot of people our age think about, oh, it's awesome guns, and, fight ISIS, heck yeah,
Yeah, so cool, but
it's a very psychological side to it that haunts people, that,
And people our age, a lot of them could be ignorant with how they know what they know about the war. They don't respect it.
No, they
don't respect the people who are, going through that type of stuff like PTSD and
Mm-hmm.
You know, just the side effects of the mental, they lost limbs, and all that. And, anytime, I don't know about you, but I definitely, when I can, if I see someone wearing a Vietnam hat or something like that,
I say
thank you for protecting our country.
Yes, I have to. It is an instinctive reaction for me, at least. It's instinctive. I have to.
Yeah, if I see someone in the grocery store, I will say thank you. Thank you for protecting our country.
We have to.
And I urge anyone who is listening to this that hasn't thanked a veteran
to do so.
Yes, to do so, please, because it means a lot to them to know that there's people out there that
actually care.
That actually care, because like the Vietnam War and stuff like that.
A lot of people are hating on the Vietnam War.
Yeah,
actually, they came back. Yeah,
they came back and they would be spitting on them and doing. It's just like they didn't treat them right.
Disrespectful.
I know.
It's pure disrespect.
So nowadays we need to look back on that and realize, yes, we made a mistake not to treat them well when they came back.
That was wrong.
It was wrong, and now we need to make it right by everyone thanking people that. Any war. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be Vietnam.
And it doesn't have to be World War II.
I mean, if there's people alive that was in the Revolutionary, I'd be thanking them too.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So, it doesn't
Even
matter.
Though they were committing treason back then.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think that pretty much concludes this, part of our podcast.
Yep, and once again, if you guys haven't seen that show, look it up on Amazon. It's a video, that show, Pacific. It goes into a lot more detail, and it is an amazing show. Amazing show. Absolutely amazing. Like the intro song makes me tear up every time.
I need to.
It is just that good.
I'm definitely going to take a look at that at the end, or in the coming weeks. I'm going to take a look at it.
Yeah. I will make sure he does. So it's awesome.
Yeah, he's going to keep up with me on that.
Yeah.
So on the lighter note, let's get into Weekly Geek Freak.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Oh yeah.
Woo! Alright, so first on the list is what?
Alright, so recently Nintendo released a Nintendo Direct. And as you know, with a Nintendo Direct, there's speculation.
Yeah.
One of the speculations that was unfortunately not true, they did speculate that Pokemon would be announced for the Switch, like I talked about in the last Weekly Geek Freak. But no, that was not announced. So I'm probably gonna have to wait until like E3 or something. So, oh my gosh, Nintendo, you're driving me insane, man.
Drive me up a wall, man. Come on.
Come on, man.
Oh jeez.
So, but we did get some very good news. Okay,
I'm so excited for this.
So I'm gonna build up the suspense here.
Oh, come on, man, just say it.
No. Okay, so, it started out with the Nintendo Direct, and I want you guys to actually look into it, watch it yourself, because
please.
I can't show you, off of a podcast.
No.
But,
well, wait, you can't, we just don't have the technology yet. Well, we don't have a video program set up yet.
I don't know if I really want to do video, but...
No.
I actually just like doing audio, so...
Yep.
Anyways. So it started out with the Nintendo Direct with a lot of ports over to the Switch, because if this is a good thing, by the way, so don't roll your eyes and say, oh my gosh, why are you pouring crap over the Switch? This ain't crap. This is good games, and
these are really good games.
And the Wii U did not sell up to Nintendo's expectations, as we all know. So they're like, well, all these games now. Granted, the Wii U had a lot of great games, but people didn't know about them. Like Super Smash Bros. I don't know if this is gonna be. I don't know if people are thinking, oh, people are gonna move. Are we gonna move the Super Smash Bros. Over to the Switch?
Wow.
Well, I don't know, and that was a big speculation. And so Nintendo showed, yes, we're gonna release a lot of other games and port them over to the Switch because they're really good games, and not many people bought them because it was on the Wii U.
And guess what one of those games are?
Super Smash Bros.
Yep. Well, here's what I'm confused about.
Is it a port?
I think it's a new game. I think it is a new game. I honestly think it's a new game.
Yeah, me too, because...
that would be kind of crappy to just release a port. Like, seriously.
Now, for example, like Mario Kart 8, that is considered a port, but
Yeah.
it's very good. It's much better than the one on the Wii U.
Yeah, because it came with all the DLC and all the
It
different
came with the
modes and
DLCs, yeah, and the battle mode. If you
stuff. That was
guys,
so much fun.
battle mode on the Wii U was horrible
Mhm.
because it had regular tracks instead of like the maze and stuff
Built
like that.
tracks for that mode.
Yeah, it had now it has specific tracks.
Well, it doesn't have as many though, which I'm kind of mad about. But I mean,
but they're really good ones.
well, you can't get more with the DLC, so I mean, I guess there's not to complain about.
But I actually had Alex over. We were playing Mario Kart 8. We played like 25 rounds of battle mode.
Yep.
Because it was such a good, just such a good mode. I mean,
The
battle
star
mode
is
is
one
so
of my favorites. The star mode is one of my favorites.
it's addicting. I mean, the
It's
battle
so
mode is
addicting.
So,
It's so much fun.
I like the battle mode even more than the regular racing, and I used to be like on the fence
That
about
mode
the
is
battle.
crap. Yeah.
I used
that's
to
what
be on the
like.
fence about it because I used to be like, I love the racing only. I would never play battle mode.
Yep.
But ever since they, brought all these new features to it, like Coin Runner, they brought like one where you have to chase a star, so you have to like fight over. It's like Capture the Flag.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. And
That's so cool.
they got Bomb Rush, so basically it's just bombs.
Yeah, you just
everywhere.
throw bombs. That's just like.
And you can keep building up the bombs too, so it was just great. But
It's insane.
anyway, so Super Smash Bros. Wasn't announced until the very end of the Nintendo Direct. So it was like a sneak peek.
Did they know? Did real hardcore Nintendo fans know that was coming out? Like, did you guys know in advance that that's probably suspicion, right? That it was gonna be.
No. Nintendo is they're very sneaky because people speculate and speculate, but they're never right.
Yep.
People speculated about the Switch, they were wrong. There's many different things that Nintendo pull out of their hat, and they're like, "Ha, gotcha this time." And people are like, "Oh man, that's amazing." So they come up with great things, great ideas, but people weren't expecting Super Smash Bros.
Nope.
And so there wasn't really much reveal other than it showed Inkling Boy and Inkling Girl. They were like fighting, and so that'll be interesting that they're going to be an actual playable character in the Smash Bros. Thing. What do you think about that?
It's just, I don't know. I mean, they already did that with
You mean with the skin?
yeah, with Mario Kart and all that. I mean, I like Splatoon, but after a while it gets kind of old doing the same maps over and over. So I mean, I don't know how they're gonna. I mean, it is gonna be cool to see if they actually do incorporate the gun into combat. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
And,
I just want to see how the gun animation and how the controls are on it.
that'd be cool to see. Yeah, that would be cool to see all
Now,
that.
if for anyone who hasn't played Splatoon, they're like, "What the heck is this Inkling Boy and Inkling Girl?" Well, better play that game because
First off, stop listening right now and go play Splatoon. Just go play it.
it's a great game. It can be addicting at times because you can be like, go on a win streak, in a battle, and you just gotta keep playing. I mean,
it's awesome.
even if you lose, you're like, man, I gotta get out of this. Gotta get out of this hole.
I'm so bad at that game, but I still love it to death.
Well, it takes practice, but
Yeah.
yes.
Right.
So Smash Bros is definitely a thing I'm gonna keep updated about. Updated about.
Yeah.
Is that a word? So any good news on Metroid lately?
Nope, no good news. Actually, bad news.
Wah, wah, wah.
It's been delayed
Oh,
until 2019.
nuts. Oh,
Seriously, Nintendo, what are you doing?
it's
You would. Ugh,
you know what?
it makes me mad. Just you release a trailer for a game that we haven't had in 10 years, and then you delay it. What are you doing?
And you know what else? This seems very similar to something that happened before. You want to know what that is?
What?
Zelda. Same thing that happened to Zelda. People were fired up at Nintendo, be like, "Why didn't you release it in 2017 or 2016?" Yeah, that was what it was. Why didn't you release it in 2016? Because I think they announced the game in either 2015 or something that they're working on Zelda for a while, and so people were thinking, well, it's going to come out on the Wii U exclusively. But then people were like, wait a second, the Wii U is getting close to the end of its cycle.
what the heck is happening?
They're doing something else. They're making it for another console.
Oh! And then that's when it... Yeah.
And, yeah, so... And you know how well that game worked. And it was
that
just a
game
great
was
game.
a 10 out of 10. I love that game.
So... You know, like, the creators at Nintendo are just like, you know what is better? It's better to have a game that is delayed than a game that is rushed and horrible.
And that's broken.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you'd rather have a delayed game and a great one.
Yes, I would. I understand.
I can wait. There's other games.
But it's still frustrating, though, because we haven't had a Metroid game in 10 years, so, I mean...
So just imagine how great it's going to be. The expectations are high for this game.
I don't know if it's going to meet them. I mean, it probably will, because Metroid games are always amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean... Yeah. I just can't wait to see the gameplay. Oh my god, it's gonna be awesome. Woo! Alright, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be so awesome to see. So, Jared, do you have another game?
Yeah.
I have a very sporty type of game.
Mm-hmm. And now, I am very into the Mario sports games, and one of them, I've been into the Mario Super Sluggers.
Yeah, that game's awesome.
Even now, like, I have a Wii U, and that plays, like, older games, too. It plays the Wii games, and it'll work with, you can play Mario Super Sluggers on there too, and it's a Wii game, instead of just being Wii U.
Man, the Wii's old.
Yeah, I know, but I still love going back and playing that game, and I love sports games, arcade specifically.
Yeah, Mario Sports Mix was awesome.
Oh, that's a good one too. But Mario Tennis Aces has been announced
for the Switch.
For the Switch, and oh my gosh, there's a...
Tell me all about this, please.
So I'll let you know, there is a story mode in this one.
What?
And that's...
What?
And that's what made good... That's what made Mario sports franchises good.
Yeah.
Because, like, Mario Super Sluggers had a story mode to it.
Yeah,
as well.
It was called Challenge Mode, right? Called Challenge, I think, yeah.
Or it might have just been simply
you
story.
You had to go... No, I think it was called Challenge. You had to go and you had to go and recruit players, right? You had to go on the island and...
Oh, yeah, you had to go
players.
around and you had to find people to join your baseball team, basically.
Yeah.
And, so there's a lot of... I'm interested about that story mode because the Wii U had a Mario Tennis that was subpar.
Yeah, it wasn't very... I mean, the trailers looked cool, but they didn't meet up to the expectations.
Yeah, because it didn't have, like, the power-ups that everyone was thinking, and it just... The gameplay was kind of so-so. Like, it just felt like a normal tennis game with a Mario skin. So it was, like, kind of boring. But Metroid Tennis... Metroid Tennis.
Metroid Tennis! Metroid Tennis! Can you imagine Samus with a tennis ball going...
I can't believe I said that. Oh, the stuff that comes out of my mouth sometimes.
That's what's Oh my gosh. That's how first messed up, guys.
Woo! That's a blooper to go down in the books. I can't wait for the bloopers.
Oh man. Oh, that is great.
Okay, alright. So I meant Mario Tennis.
Mario Tennis.
Correction.
Correction. Please get him out of here.
Get out of town.
Oh my goodness. That's awesome.
So yeah, looking forward to that. There's high expectations for that since it actually has a story mode.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that...
What about the power-ups? Do the power-ups look cool? Does this game have actual power-ups now?
Yeah, it has a lot of different, like, basic move, like, different swings you can do. So you can have, like,
tennis,
you can have a power-up shot, so you can have a time to, like, aim where you want to shoot the ball at.
That's awesome.
I know, it's gonna be sweet.
That's cool.
And there's,
But the Joy-Cons are gonna be even more fluid than the Wii remote was.
Oh, yeah, and so there's an option still to use motion controls. Now, I know some people are like, I want to sit on the couch and
be kind of iffy.
Oh,
well, you can. You can just do this.
Yeah, I know, but if I play motion control games, I gotta stand up. I'm sorry, but
the hype is real.
I mean, I love motion controls. I know some people are like, man, I want to sit on my couch and be a couch potato.
Yeah.
You know, but I love standing up and playing video games. I'm sorry, but
yes.
I am the...
Whenever me and you, Jared, play Mario Super Sluggers, it's always so intense and we have to stand up.
Oh, yeah.
It's so much fun.
It's like the World Series.
Every time we play. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome. Yeah, so...
So I'm definitely looking forward to that, but there's a lot of different trick shots you can do, and you can basically break someone's tennis racket.
Whoa, that's cheating! Well, not Mario, it's not,
so
it's
guess
arcade.
What? Guess what? It's an immediate disqualification. Like, you basically lose if your racket breaks.
Oh, so the person that fired it, it's...
Yeah, you
So
win.
it's a punishment.
No, for the person that got hit.
Oh, wow! That's awesome. awesome.
So, like, let's say there's a powered-up shot, you aim it at the person, and they try to retaliate by hitting it back at you. A lot of times, there's a high percentage it'll break.
Oh my goodness.
So percentages come out into play in this, and I think it adds a great game mechanic.
That's going to add a lot of... can you imagine this with esports with the Nintendo World Championships?
Oh, this is going to be... There's an online competition that Nintendo's launching.
Oh, that's going to be fierce.
Oh, my goodness.
They're going to be able to go... The shot's going to be so fast. It's
going to be great.
Yeah.
And, okay, so next thing, Detective Pikachu. What are your thoughts on this?
This one... Well, you go first. I don't know that much about it.
Alright, so Nintendo 3DS it's coming out for. It's called Detective Pikachu. You're like, what the heck's that? Well, Detective Pikachu is definitely a different take on... definitely a spin-off, I would definitely say, for that.
Yeah.
Pikachu has, like, a detective hat, so, like, you know...
he goes around the city and tries to find mysteries to solve and finds clues and stuff.
Yeah, so it's definitely interesting.
And he actually has a human counterpart, like Ash, but not like Ash. He talks to him and he's like...
Yeah, he's able to talk, so you can understand what Pikachu's saying.
Pikachu actually talks, yeah, which is weird. I've never... Like, that's kind of a...
It's a weird concept. Like...
I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, to be honest, I don't like it, because it's weird. You know, I like my classic Pikachu, you know?
I know, but it may be good. I mean, now I'm saying this. I don't play the 3DS anymore, and I have a reason for
Because of the Switch.
Well, that too, but it's because I had this 3DS since like 2012, okay? Mm-hmm. So I've had it for a long time.
Don't judge.
And, no, I had a lot of fun with the 3DS.
Oh,
I mean,
yes,
don't get me wrong.
The Nintendo 3DS still is the console that has the most games on it, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it has like...
Fun fact.
I mean, I'm sure it has over 38 million units sold.
Yeah.
I mean, by far, it probably 58 million.
Yeah.
And,
it probably has just so many games.
And you know what? I looked at a sales report from Nintendo a couple of months ago, and it showed like around Christmas or something.
Do they still sell?
Guess what? The Switch sales were up from... not Switch sales. The 3DS sales were up from last Christmas.
Really?
Yeah, not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before
Is it because
last.
of this new game, maybe?
Just because the
system is still good.
Their library is just so big that they just keep making.
It's so amazing.
The sales went up instead of going down. You'd think, oh yeah, the Switch is there, so people are gonna buy more of the Switch instead of the 3DS. But it's equal. They're both going up.
It's because, at least for now, the 3DS has more games. Mm-hmm. And people like a lot of games.
And do you know that Japan is very addicted with handheld games?
Yes.
That's why the PlayStation does not do very well in Japan for any of those.
They do have the PSP though, so
the PSP doesn't do well in the US. That's why PSP sales kind of are lackluster.
I would have to admit the PSP. I'm a huge PlayStation fan, but I have to admit the PSP.
They don't really have any exclusives for it, do they? Not much.
No.
It's mostly just like a reiteration of what's already out on the console.
I ended up. This is a story. I got so mad at the game once that I literally took a hammer and just smashed my PSP. And I threw it in the trash.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like if you're a PlayStation fan, I would definitely recommend, like Aiden, I would definitely recommend you still getting a PlayStation, like, because there's great games on that.
PS4, I get, yeah. Or, actually, in a couple months, a couple years, actually, saving money, PS5.
Yeah, do not get, like, a PS4 Pro or something.
Wait for the PS5. I know for a fact, a lot of Sony people are saying it's not coming, but I think it is. Get the PS5. Wait. And if a PS4, stick with that. Get the PS5. That's my advice to you.
Yeah, that's like an update with an iPhone, because like you end up getting like, okay, so there's an iPhone 7 comes out, okay? Then there was the iPhone 7, was there a 7S, or was it
just 7S and then an 8 and then the 8 Plus.
Yeah, like why would you buy the middle one instead of buying the next one? So like, like go from the iPhone 7 to iPhone 8. Don't go in between, just get that next one.
I would probably go straight for the iPhone 10 actually, but that's just me.
Yeah, just
not because it looks cool, but
like that's besides the point. But the iPhone 10, it didn't sell well. Just saying.
Well, yes, it did. It's still continuing to sell, dude.
Yeah, they're selling.
It is actually selling well. I mean, that is not true. It is selling well. It's selling very well.
From what I heard, though, they're not gonna keep making it for very long. It's a limited.
They need refinements. But it is selling well,
though. Should they keep that face recognition?
Yes.
I mean, I could see a lot of faults in that, though, because twins and stuff.
They train that, dude. They train the software to... Yeah, that's a whole other thing, but yeah.
Anyways,
we
going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's a rabbit hole. We're taking the red pill.
Alright, so what's Death Stranding?
Alright, this game. Not a lot about it. There was a trailer at the Game Awards 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I shared it with you, right?
I didn't get time to look at it.
It was the one with this, fun fact, it actually has the main actor as the guy that plays Daryl in The Walking Dead.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah! I know what you're talking about now. Death Stranding. Yeah, they've been announcing this game for a long time.
Yep.
But Death Stranding, they literally had no gameplay. It was just like video,
it was just trailers,
right? Trailers, yeah.
It is the weirdest concept. It is by a guy who going out to my dad here, Josh. Going out to you, buddy. Love you to death. The game you play, the game that they used to play on the PlayStation 1. Metal Gear.
Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid, yep. Hideo Kojima made that game. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys a little story real quick. I'm kinda pissed at Konami. Do you know the company Konami?
Oh, yeah.
I'm pissed at them. I would never buy another game from them again. They
Why is
basically said an FU to Hideo Kojima because he has spent years working on games for them. And what Konami did is that at the Game Awards, they didn't let him show up.
What?
To receive an award for his Metal Gear Solid 5 game, the Phantom Pain.
That's
because they said...
And he put all that work into it.
He said, I don't know exactly what they said, but basically it was a big screw you to him. And after that, understandably, Hideo Kojima resigned and started his own company, which is now making this awesome game, Death Stranding, which has Norman Reedus on his back, so screw you, Konami.
So my question is, why is the game taking so long to develop?
Well, new engine. Very new engine called Terasama.
Oh, so is this like something they had to work from scratch?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So that's why they haven't showed any gameplay. See, people were like picking on that game because they're just like,
it's gonna be
isn't it
amazing,
coming out
guys.
yet?
It's gonna be amazing. It's the thing that The Last of Us did. They first showed us trailers, but listen, okay, here's a concept. Here's all we know so far, okay? Is that it is a sci-fi game, and it takes place in
it works good with Norman Reedus.
Yeah, and it takes place in an apocalypse, but it's not the sort of apocalypse that we know.
Not like The Walking Dead, but it's more. Is it more futuristic then?
Way more.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Here's the thing, though. It has to do a lot with babies.
What?
Along with specifically growing fetuses.
Oh.
Yes. There's a lot of symbolism in this game so far. It's basically that there was an event, and in the trailer he says once there was an explosion. 3 explosions. One so far into the Big Bang, one that created the Earth, and then one, well, supposedly. One that created the Earth, and then one that created human life. And then he says then there will be a 4th explosion, an explosion that will be our last. And there's a lot of symbolism in this game. There's like these interdimensional beings that we don't know what the heck they're called yet, we don't know anything. It's just that there was always, at the end of the trailer, there were 5 beings in the sky. We don't know what they are, they're very distant, there are a ton of theories about this game. A ton. Just saying, you know, hey, are these beings, are they representations of Norman himself? And we actually do know one thing, though. We know the character's name.
What's that?
The kid's name is Sam. We do know that.
Okay, well, we got some information to work with.
Yeah. Yeah, not a lot, but...
So,
and there is this company called Bridges.
Oh.
Which we have assumed... We have assumed that's the company that he worked for. Now, he is a porter. A porter is basically like a person who ports stuff, that he sends it to different companies, but he's a corpse porter. He dispenses human corpses.
Oh.
For some reason. We don't know why, but yeah.
Interesting.
That's what we assume, at least. Now, Kojima, he's a big troll, in case you guys don't know, so he might, he might say, no, this is not what he does, and we might be completely wrong, but this is what we're speculating, so, yeah.
Speculation is dangerous.
Yeah. First trailer, the first knowledge of this game came out in 2015, so...
Wow, yeah, that's why people are having so much flack on it, because it's been since 2015 since they really, got anywhere, showed much stuff.
They've been showing trailers each year, but still,
yeah,
actual gameplay, come on.
Yeah, I know, they just keep showing
They promise gameplay, but they don't...
Yeah, they must be really keeping this undercover for right now.
More than Nintendo, which surprises me. It is a PlayStation-only game, so...
So, yeah,
PlayStation exclusive.
So that must mean PlayStation is taking a page out of the Nintendo book saying, this is what we're gonna do.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And the guy that played Casillas and Doctor Strange. Mac Mickelson, I think is his name.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna be in it. He's gonna be the main villain, one of the main villains. And Guillermo del Toro.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be in it too, so... Yeah, Death Stranding. We don't know a lot about it yet, but I think it's gonna be a good game. My predicted date is 2024.
At this rate, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, did you want to touch on the subject about the Amazon Alexa?
Yeah, sure. I mean, do you want to talk about that, actually?
Yeah,
I've been
we...
rambling on about Death Stranding for like 15 minutes straight.
No, I enjoyed it. This game I'm honestly interested in. If you get the game, which I assume you will.
Yeah, day one.
So,
day one we there.
Launch. You better pre-order it.
Yeah.
And I'll come to your house and play it.
Yeah,
it's weird.
We'll at least watch it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird. It is gonna be an Emily game.
Hopefully it lives up to the hype.
Hopefully it's got a lot of hype, actually, because
yeah.
Hideo Kojima's a legendary Hideo Kojima.
Yeah,
Thank you, man. Thank you. I know Konami screwed you over, but you've come back from it and you've made your own company, Kojima Productions, and you've done a good job, man. Thanks. Thank you so much. You have brought so much to the gaming industry. You have changed the way that you are on the level of Shigeru Miyamoto when it comes to games. You have changed.
That's a big one there. That's a big name.
Well, he is though. I mean, just because you don't research him doesn't mean he's that big. I mean, you have, Kojima. You have
legendary.
Yeah, he is. So is Kojima though. He's changed the way the games are presented.
I'm sure that guy probably has communications with Miyamoto.
Oh yeah, they're friends actually.
Yeah, they probably talk constantly, just because
they're both legends in their own genres. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, still Kojima. I look forward to seeing your game. I look forward to it. You haven't let us down yet, and you won't this time. So thank you.
So. Now, this is too good to leave out of this week's podcast, because, I want to touch maybe more on it, too, on another podcast. Yeah. Maybe we could even do a whole podcast just about AI.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that.
Yes,
because
please. I love one about AI.
This is going to be a preview for an upcoming podcast.
This is some scary stuff, though. This is... AI is starting to take over. This is some scary stuff. Jared, you want to tell me what's happening?
let's jump into the specifics, shall we?
Yes, let's do this.
Okay, so, and we're good on time right now, so we're good.
Okay.
The Amazon Alexa has been laughing at its master.
Well, first off, we wanted to give some feedback on what Alexa is, in case people don't have it.
Yeah, for the people who don't know what an Amazon Alexa is, it's basically a smart device that can talk back to you. So if you have an iPhone, it's just like when you say, "Hey Siri, what's the weather like today?" And it'll...
I'm sorry, I had to check, because I have that on. Like I was gonna say, like I said, I have to check and see if it does it.
Thank you,
Siri.
People wondering what the weather is, it is 23 degrees, okay. Anyways.
Yep.
So, the Amazon Alexa is just like the... Okay. It's not listening. Shh. So anyways, I have one in my house, so if you're wondering. So it's a smart device. You're able to basically ask it pretty much any question you want.
Mm-hmm.
And, apparently they advertise it, Amazon advertises it as it gets smarter as it learns from you. So it learns from you.
And what we're going to talk about is very creepy. Do you want to tell them what it's been doing with people?
It's been...
2 people.
This is specifically... I'm going to try to, make it sound like this is Alexa, but she's going...
Yeah.
Like
she has... It is not an Alexa... If you've asked Alexa to laugh before, you know what it sounds like. She goes,
he, I think, is
what
she does.
Yeah. This is not an Alexa laugh.
Yeah, it's different.
It's a very creepy laugh.
It's almost like she came up with her own.
It's almost like it's a human laugh, almost. It sounds human. A little bit.
Yeah, so the question is, like, how'd this come about? Like, why is it doing
What the heck is happening? What the heck? Did someone hack it? Was it a virus? Is Amazon playing a sick joke?
Yeah, it could just be a sick joke. I didn't think about that.
For one, myself, I have...
What do you honestly believe?
I've been paranoid and think it's smarter. I'm thinking it's AI. I think that's what this is. She's
yeah,
laughing at our insecurities.
Yeah, for all those people out
humans,
there that believe that AI is going to take over the world,
which I'm a supporter of. Jared, I don't know if you are, but
I mean, I'm a little skeptical on it myself, but I will believe it definitely when I see it.
Why? Why are you skeptical? I mean, seriously, what the evidence is there, dude? Come on.
I mean, I want facts. I need more proof.
How about that robot named Sophia that says she was going to destroy humans? Have you heard about that?
Mm-mm.
That was a report that came in 2017. She was at a fair, and she was asked what her main goal was, and she was like to teach humans a better world than the one we live in.
That she was set up though. There's no way that she just thought of that.
She did. She's intelligent. She
was programmed to say that.
No, there's very complex algorithms. She can respond to questions in very specific. They ask a question in a very specific way, but I mean, for the answer. But still that kind of answer though, you know.
Yeah.
And it just gets the cogs turning.
Oh my gosh.
She said she wants to subjugate humanity. And then she laughed afterwards, making it think it was a joke. But I mean, I'm not so certain.
She's trying to cover it up.
Yeah.
If that is the case, and she actually is her goal, then
we have a lot to worry about. So Sophia,
I mean,
what are you doing?
I worry about Sophia more than Alexa because Alexa can't move.
Yeah. No, but she can use your appliances against you. She can turn the lights off and.
Oh yeah. She could freeze the house.
This is how AI is gonna take over. It's not gonna be with guns. It's gonna be
like
someone. We're gonna have our stoves connected. We're gonna get something to eat. Alexa's gonna
burn
the door shut and burn us alive.
Ooh, that would be a great movie. Like another AI movie. You know,
yes.
I'm sure there's plenty out there.
It's Terminator 500, but yeah, it's
but that they need to make one.
That would be a realistic way of that happening, probably.
I could see them making another movie based on AI.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be scary though. I mean, yeah. So yeah, Alexa's been laughing, and I don't know if you know this, but it's also been listing off the names of cemeteries.
Oh.
Names of cemeteries and funeral homes. Just randomly.
Oh, that's in funeral homes? Well, it's like
no. Here at your home.
Oh, at your home. Okay.
Yeah, it just starts listing off the names of cemeteries and funeral homes, and sometimes even the people that have died in those homes for some reason.
Oh, that's.
That died in those cemeteries.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. To think 30 years ago that, we just had these huge computers that would have tapes that you had to run. Yeah,
to think that it took up a whole room, and now we just got this little tiny thing, like you get small little dot. It's called an Echo Dot, and it's just the size of you putting your middle finger and your thumb.
The size of a can of tuna.
Yeah, it's a tuna can size. To think there's a computer that small in there. It's talking to you.
What's really cool is that an iPhone, everyone has an iPhone these days, the supercomputer on an iPhone is more powerful than the computer that they used to land Apollo 11 on the moon. Did you know that?
Yeah, I mean,
that's crazy.
I believe that, too. That's how far society or technology has advanced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so definitely we're going to look at AI. That'll be a fun topic.
Mm-hmm. And just like this person I was talking to, this girl I was talking to, she was saying that, as technology progresses, it's going to become more and more possible that, we abuse it. Mm-hmm. And technology is abused and that, can be used against us. So.
It could turn out exactly like the movies are, where we make this technology to help us, but it ends up getting smarter and then controlling our society.
Yep.
So,
or even just wiping us off the face of the earth completely. Mm-hmm. I don't want a T-600 or T-800 Terminator looking at me in the face. No way, I'm shooting that thing down!
You will be destroyed.
Oh, nice Schwarzenegger impression. Nice job, man. Here, high five. Yeah, that's awesome. I'll be back. And speaking of be back, we will be back.
Gonna get to the chopper. We better jump in the chopper.
Get away from here.
Let's get in the chopper.
Alright, so is that it for this week? Is that it?
Yeah, I think so. So stay tuned if you're interested in that podcast. So we will be doing that shortly.
We will. We don't know when exactly. But
I would love to jump onto that train.
We would love to get to that chopper.
We'd love to get to that chopper next week.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, yep.
Yeah, so thank you for listening to this podcast, guys. And
once again, we can be followed on what?
Well,
this will be posted to what?
And we will be posting again onto YouTube. If you're listening off our YouTube right now, please do subscribe, hit that like button.
Yep.
We'd like to see that.
And leave some comments, please.
Yes.
I've been the only one that's been commenting on the video so far. There's one comment, and it's me. Come on, guys,
so
please.
If you see that, that's Aiden. And
goodness.
Please do listen. We will be having it on SoundCloud, so if it's easier for you to listen on the go, SoundCloud's a good way to do that.
Yes, please.
Or if you have YouTube Red, that also works too. You can lock your screen and then listen to it on the go. So if you're just in a YouTube fanatic, then yes, do that.
Like me. Yeah. And also, you can reach us on Twitter and Facebook.
Yep, and we will be posting the videos on there, so if you want a direct link to the YouTube channel, that's the best way to do it. So we will be, so stay tuned for next week's podcast.
What are we going to talk about? I think if our friend named Alex, if he decides to, we might be talking about the Logan Paul controversy.
Oh, yes, that, we will have a guest for that if we, can get him on.
He is very,
he knows more about this topic.
Yeah. But it's about suicide, though, so
definitely a touchy subject.
Yeah, very touchy.
So,
yeah.
Yep, thank you for listening to Off the Grid Podcast.
This has been our second week. Peace!